Check it out. I made a cable that shows me numbers. We're starting shooting in August and there's not many days left in the month, so there's a lot of stuff that I'm trying to get ready. And one of the big factors that I have to figure out while shooting this series, because we're going to be going so many times without being able to charge our batteries, is I need adequate power solutions, especially for these little cameras where the batteries suck. So I've been testing stuff for about a month or so, and I'm going forward with a plan where I'm going to adapt these older Sony batteries to be using with all my different power equipment. I've been actually making really good progress all day. I've just forgot to be documenting it, making all these cable modifications. It's kind of like tedious little stuff, and I haven't been vlogging it at all. But I'm gonna go pick up Janelle from work, and then we'll get right back to explaining the whole battery situation.
Many times.
Pick Janelle up from work.
Oh, try that again.
Pick Janelle up from work, and I mean, it's not the reason why I went to go pick her up, but it's certainly a benefit. Amazing. The last week here in Chilliwack has been absolutely gorgeous weather. Yeah, the last few weeks here in the Fraser Valley, the weather has been absolutely gorgeous. It's been reminding me of California gorgeous. Fun fact, I lived in California for 5 years. If you didn't know that, now you know. And yeah, hi. I think the vlog needs more Janelle.
And yeah.
My likes have been going down because I haven't been including you.
Really?
That's actually not a true statement, but the likes of my heart when I'm editing go down. How is that?
How does it go when I eat all your whipped cream?
Okay, we're back at the house here, and I want to show you something. These are the batteries. These are called NPF 750s, or there's a few different names for them, but the NPF 750s are these kind of generic Sony batteries. I have a few of these, and we're going to try to use these to be our main power source while shooting the series. And I want to invest in a system that I can keep using for different cameras and keep reiterating and using for other things. But I got to run to the border quick to pick up some more supplies.
What I just bake.
Life's better when you bake stuff.
Yeah.
See ya.
Bye.
Janelle is so good at baking treats. Awesome. Thank you very much. At the shipping center, you always need to open every package up and check what's inside, because when you cross the border, they always ask if you've verified the contents of the packages. So, gotta verify. Plus, who doesn't love opening up their packages right when they get them? That's my favorite part of getting new packages. Almost there. Okay, so all of these things right here, not this stuff, but almost all this stuff right here, I picked up from the border earlier today. A lot of little trinkets and things that are gonna go together to make my camera kit hopefully more functional for shooting this series. So I'm gonna have everything be powered off these guys right here. So to give you a size difference, these are 1500 milliamps and this is 5000 milliamps. So roughly about 5 times the size. So when I'm using one of these to power my camera over there, I can get 5 times the length than one of these little Sony guys. They're nice and cheap. They're 30 bucks for 2 with a charger. That's a pretty good bang for your buck. So there's a few things that I'm gonna do, some involving some cutting and snipping and soldering to make my user experience with these guys the best as possible. But let's set these aside for now. Let's talk about some of the other things on this table of love. I got some ND filters for the Phantom 3. These are gonna be very helpful when shooting in the sun. I also got a variable ND for my bigger lenses. So this is a 77 mil. It's a Tiffin. This is a nice filter. Tiffin makes great ND filters. These are a little bit of an investment coming in at 130 bucks, but they're really worthwhile, especially if you are shooting a lot outdoors and you really want to keep your shutter angle in the 180 degree space. So you don't have this like crazy juddery looking video footage. So these are very, very handy. Glad to invested. I always borrowed before. I got a handful of 64 gig SD cards because I want to be able to keep as many copies of my footage as possible while we're shooting. So more SD cards, especially when you're shooting 4K, those go by fast. Another thing I got here is this little icon monitor. The monitor on the back of the Sony a6300 absolutely blows. So I got this little guy so I can have a better monitoring experience, and it allows you to do punch in pixel to pixel viewing, so you can actually check your focus while you're shooting. So this little monitor is great, and I'm excited to put it to use. And this is actually where some of our mods are going to come in today, but we're going to talk about that more in a moment. So we're going to dive into some of the modifications here. This is less of a tutorial and more just me showing you what I'm doing. I don't have enough time to explain DC voltage and kind of all these things that you need to be thinking about if you're doing this yourself. But we're going to just dive into some simple little tasks here. I've successfully tapped off the back of this plate here, and all the wiring checks out. Monitor still works great. So the next step is to add one of these female DC barrel connectors here in the line, so that way I can tap off the power. Wow, awesome. I think I actually got it to work. We're gonna head over to the mirror here so I can show you what's all going on. Okay, so what's going on here is the battery powering this monitor is actually powering the camera as well. So here's the power tap that we just made, and then it's going into the camera right there. It's actually working beautifully. So I'm really happy with this setup, and it's gonna help keep the A6300 rig as like lightweight as possible, and also enough battery to keep going for a long time. This right here is a battery plate holder for these Sony batteries. It's handy because it has this click in function, so they like lock in place and they're really sturdy. But this adapter was actually made to convert these batteries into 12 volt. That's what this circuit board here does. Power goes in as 7.4 volts and comes out as 12 volts. But I don't want it to be 12 volts. I want it to be 7.4 volts. But I really like the way that this mounts so easily. So I just pulled the circuit board out, but now I need to just connect in the connectors for the battery out to a little barrel connector thing that I can tap out of here. This is like the first version of the battery plate that I made. So I essentially just took like a charger plate, one of these guys, soldered on connections, and just kind of mounted it to this bracket here that I made. So that way I could set it on the top of my A6300, have a mic mounted here, and have the battery here. So all this stuff I'm doing is essentially just being like modifications of that. Well, I've been working away here, cutting wires for like the past 3 or 4 hours, and got some sweet modifications done. I modified this battery plate so that way I could tap 3 sources of power out of it, and the battery plate would let me know how much voltage is left in the battery, which is actually really handy. So the idea is I could have a rig all set up and power a monitor, power my audio, and power the camera itself all off the same battery, which is going to be like a really handy setup. Really nice to get that all done. Definitely fun to like make things with my hands. I love doing that. But that's it for today. I'm behind actually on the daily vlogs. Even though I've been daily vlogging, I haven't been getting the episodes out, which I don't feel so good about. But lots of updates hopefully to come. That's actually not true. There's not tons to update on, besides the fact that we're starting to shoot really soon, which is crazy. Yeah, it's pretty bizarre. But I'm sure I'll have more to say tomorrow. And today's happy is getting this all done. Today's crappy is yeah, I'm just like a tiny bit bummed that like more sponsor opportunities aren't like panning out. To say it, like I've just been getting a lot of no's, and that's just frustrating. But yeah, either way, the series is going forward. Really stoked on the support on the Kickstarter. That's like really cool. So gonna put as much energy as I can behind that and really just capitalize on people that want to support that way. But yeah, until tomorrow, remember, life's better when you make stuff.